Hello. Well, I would say a lifelong dream. It's only really been about a 10-year long dream, but a long dream has been accomplished. I saw the chapel, Brother Mike's paintings, and well, it was fabulous. It's been quite an afternoon. I signed up for a tour, which I was never able to find the meeting point. The meeting point said one thing on the website, and then the confirmation email they sent said another. So, woo! Gonna thumbs down it for those folks. Not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. Theater, not great. Because it's hot out here. I was sweating and running around and asking directions in a language that I'm not familiar with, and so of course the answers I got back were interesting. But what I finally came up with was I went back to the place that I was before, that huge rotunda of Vatican City-ness. And I went up to one of the tourist booths and I said, hey, I just want to see the Sistene Chapel, what do I do? And he said, go back to this point where I was supposed to meet the other tour and go to this place. It's the Musei Vaticani. And at first I kind of thought that was, I didn't really even know what it was, to tell you the truth. I figured it was a museum of religious art of something, but actually it's really interesting. They've got a lot of stuff in there, and it's all, of course, art that was made for the Vatican itself. So you're walking through, and you walk through certain apartments of some important guy, and then you walk through some apartments that Raphael did, his painting and all that kind of stuff, and then you walk through and you've got some artifacts there. It's all really interesting, even if you're very non-religious, which I am. So it takes a couple hours. It was €15 today to do that. Not bad at all for what I got to see. And yeah, it took a couple hours to walk through the whole place. I took many photographs, as you can imagine, and will see eventually, I'm sure. And then I got to go stand in the masterpiece, dude. It was awesome. I loved Michelangelo. Tortured, angry. Thought his painting was crap. Really hated his painting. Really felt he was a better sculptor, and he really wanted to sculpt the Pope's tomb, is what he wanted to do. And the Pope said, no, I disagree, I think you should come paint my chapel. But of course, in those days, if you said no to the Pope, he could legally murder you. So Michelangelo was forced to come and do this thing, and it took him about 4.5 years from start to finish. There were a lot of problems with the ceiling. There was a lot of cracking, a lot of crap. I mean, a lot of stuff, like they'd paint it, and then the next day they'd come and they'd find like a fragment of what was there, and so they'd have to redo it all again. And Michelangelo, most painters used assistants and things like that, and Michelangelo, he would just periodically fire all of them and do the work himself, lying on his back on a scaffold, paint dripping in his face. Angry guy. Love him. He finally did get to do the Pope's tomb, by the way. He finally did get to sculpt what he wanted to sculpt, but not after he threw a 4.5-year-long fit. He was so angry, so moody, so brooding. Love Michelangelo. One of the things he did, of course, was trompe-l'oeil, which is to fool the eye, which is one of the things that's amazing about the ceiling, because you could swear that there's a lot more architectural elements in there that are actually in there, because he makes things look very real to the eye, which aren't real at all. So that was great, and of course his painting of the physique. Can't remember how many figures there are on the ceiling, but I think it's over 100. There's a lot anyway, and they're all very well done. It's hard to do one well. It's hard to do one realistically, and this guy just turned them out like bubbles in soda pop. It was ridiculous. Anyway, So if you find yourself here next to a building that looks like this, like a huge tomb basically, you're in the right place. Just go in that door. It's closed right now, but it's that one, the green one. Go in that door, give them 15. They're going to make you put your backpack up. They're going to request that you not take photos at all in the Sistine Chapel, which I didn't. Most people did though. Most people were shooting a shot here and there and everywhere, and there were just really big guys hanging out in there that had badges and some authority to scream no photo at you, and they looked serious to me. And you know, they made a request, so I complied. I really did want to take a picture, but I knew that it was going to end up being one of those really crappy shots, so I just didn't bother. So yeah. Interestingly enough, though, they don't want you to talk in there. They don't want you to talk in there because when you talk, you expel like twice as much carbon dioxide as when you just are breathing. And the carbon dioxide has an effect, of course, on the painting, and that's, you know, they want to keep that as long as they can. They've already restored it once, and you know, these things are awfully hard to restore, and I can see their point. But so they want you to remain silent in the chapel, and yet you got guys screaming no photo, and you've also got one going. Wait till that motorcycle passes. You've also got one going shh every 2 minutes. It is really insanely annoying. So I'm not sure what their point is there. I'm just, you know, they need to come up with a system of maybe telling people that's why they don't want them to talk or something, rather than screaming and shushing. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving in there too, and a lot of people not looking where they were going, so that's always fun for me. Always fun for me. Anyway, now it's time. It's time to go back across the river. It's time to go investigate more of Rome. We'll see you a little bit later on.